What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We're here for another day in the garage. I just got back from King of the Hammers and man, what an awesome trip it was. 8 days on the lake bed with the boys. We had so much fun. It was an epic trip, epic weather. We beat the snow. It was a blast. We had so much fun. I can't wait to go back. We're already planning some big things for next year. So stay tuned for that. But man, we had such a good time. But the XJ, the little Cherokee, she didn't make it this year. And I'll break it down for you why she couldn't make it and what happened and why I had to leave her at home. So let's get into it. So just prior to the Hammers trip, I installed some new leaf spring hangers in the front of the XJ and some new shackle hangers in the rear, all made by CavFab. I'm gonna put a link in the description below for where you can get your CavFab leaf spring and shackle hangers. Badass. They are fully adjustable front and rear, and I was super stoked how they came out. They're fully bolt on. I chose to bolt and weld them on in certain places just for a little bit of extra strength. Just because I plan on beating this thing up a little bit, so I just wanted a little bit more stout behind it. But they are absolute beef. I'm super excited to go out and test them out and try them out. But what I ended up doing was shifting the axle back about 2 inches. So by moving the rear end back just a couple more inches, obviously my drive shaft has to get extended. So went to extend the drive shaft, and this is what happened. So because I use a slip yoke eliminator on the Jeep, I have to have the double cardan rear drive shaft. Very common on the XJs, guys just use the front drive shaft as a rear drive shaft when you do that. I went with this Rubicon Express drive shaft, and what happened was it will no longer extend. It won't telescope anymore. It was seized up. I beat on it with a rubber mallet. I hooked up some tie down straps to it to pull it apart. This thing is just locked in. It did open up a little bit, but after much effort, I just decided that this was a lost cause. This drive shaft is gonna go into the dumpster. I'll pull some parts off of it. U-joints are all still good as spares. The double cardan's still good as a spare. Other than that, it's junk. So that I wasn't able to get a new one ordered in time to make it out to the lake bed. So we just had to leave the XJ at home. So this thing's gonna get dissected. It's going in the garbage, and let's show you what's going in next. So I reached out on the interwebs to Adam's Drive Shaft, gave them my specific length of drive shaft that I needed, which isn't crazy because I only moved the axle back 2 inches, and they sent me out this custom-made rear drive shaft. So let's get into this thing. I just popped it open. Oh man, I am so excited about this. Look at that freshie. First class, built to last, made by Adams, all new U-joints, fresh card, everything's bitching. And look at this. What's this in here? T-shirt, stickers, super stoked. That's the best part of any parts. Swag. So we're gonna get this thing unboxed, we're gonna get it installed, and take this thing for a rip. Let's go. So a quick side-by-side comparison of what we got here. You can see the Rubicon Express versus the Adams, and the Adams is just way beefier, way bigger. I'm super stoked on quality of what they shipped out to us. And look at this. This is the best part. It extends easily with like 2 fingers. Look at that. Way better than what I could ever done. This thing still locked up, still can't move it. Dumpster bound garbage. Adam's drive shaft for the win. Let's go. All right, so we got everything kind of loosely fitted up. I just have the front bolts just kind of fingered in there, hand tight just for now. And the rear is just kind of set until we get the straps on and those bolts in. Man, you can see why these things are so badass. I'm super stoked. And she telescopes. She does what she's supposed to. Let's get this thing buttoned up. I'll throw a little Loctite on her, torque her down, send it. Let's go. All right, that was pretty quick work. All done, all Loctite it up, torque down to spec, ready for the desert. Now, why did this one seize up? I'm not really sure. I did grease it fairly often, probably about once a season, get it greased up there. Try to maintain these things the best I can, but I mean, who knows? Maybe some dirt, some water, mud, who knows what got in there. Not really sure why this thing decided to freeze up, but it is absolutely stuck. So luckily we got this thing out in time that this problem was discovered, because I could have been destroying U-joints. And these little 1310 U-joints, yeah, they're stout, but they're not 1350s like on 1 tons. So we're gonna be rocking these 1310s until we do some big boy stuff. Maybe put a 9-inch rear end in it when we go to re-gear it in the front. Get rid of the little Dana 30 and do like a high pinion Dana 44. I don't know, what do you guys think? Go to tons, Dana 60s front and rear. Not sure yet. Thinking this thing is like a nice little half go fast, half rock crawler hybrid. Who knows? But that's where we're at. And speaking of Rubicon Express, I've been rocking their little lift shackles for a little while. You see a good up close shot of those new CavFab shackle hangers, fully adjustable, so badass. But I've got these kind of flimsy shackles on the rear. They've been good, haven't given me any problems, but it's time to upgrade to something a little bit more suited for what we do. So let's take a look at some new goodies. So I already unboxed and painted, as you can see, but these are Rough Stuff Specialties, fully fabricated, adjustable rear shackles, way beefier, way thicker. The quality, the welds, everything on them is just phenomenal. So I'm super, super pumped. We're gonna get this rear end busted loose, get these things in, get them greased up, and these ones are greasable. The Rubicon Express ones weren't. So we'll get some grease squirted in these things, get them hanging, see how this thing flexes. Let's go. Now that I got them both busted off, let's take a look here real quick at the difference. Rubicon, Rough Stuff. Rubicon, like, there's no comparison. You cannot tell me that those aren't as good. Look at that, just beef. I love it. Let's get those bad boys banged on there. All right, folks, new shackles are in. Without an angle finder, I'm not really quite sure what my angle is. It looks a little steeper than 40 to 45, which is what's recommended. However, I think there's only about a 1/4 tank of fuel in here and no butts in the back seat. And the bushings and everything have not really kind of worn in and seated in yet. So I'm gonna leave it at that hole there and kind of see what we do after some off-roading and see where this shackle angle ends up at ride height, and kind of see where she lands. Plus, I might have to do a little trimming. If we look here at that rear fender where it ends compared to the back of the tire now, she might come up and rub. I'm gonna cycle it and kind of see what happens. But in the front here, you can see these badass leaf hangers. I'm all the way to the most rearward one. That third one, this hole here is stock. That lines up with where the stock box used to be. And that one wasn't adjustable. That was just thin sheet metal with a single butter bolt that went through it. And not that I had any problems with it. It wasn't tearing away from the subframe or anything like that, but, or the unibody frame, I mean. It was time for an upgrade, and these things were pretty reasonably priced. I mean, under 200 bucks for the set. So I couldn't say no. It was an absolute bitch to get them on, or to get the old ones off. You got to drill out all those spot welds that are in there, and what a nightmare. So I ended up buying off of Amazon one of these little drill bit tools, and holy moly, it made a world of difference. If you guys ever have to do spot weld drill outs. These little guys, let me see if I can zoom in on it here. It's basically a little teeny tiny hole saw, and man, it makes quick work of it. They are sharp as hell. Amazon is like 12 bucks. Yeah, there's some better brands out there and some bigger ones, but I figured for what I'm doing, that was gonna be perfect, and it did. It worked absolutely bitchin'. So get ready, because there's about, I think I counted 28 per box, and I had to do 4 of them. So, or per hanger. So yeah, not fun at all, but you know, we got it done. So anyway, that's what's shackles. They're hung, bitchin'. Let's go. Oh, and more goodies arrived. Looky here, from our good friends over at Deaver. They got us some 5.5 inch coils. Here we go. Couldn't do that one-handed. New Deaver coils for the front, 5.5 inch, which is what I have on here now. But these Rubicon Express coils are just a little stiffer than what I like. It's a little bit choppy going through the sandy washes with all the razor chop or side-by-side chop, I guess. And then I just like it to soften up just a little bit. And we can adjust the ride height, kind of match the rear. The rear's sitting a little bit higher than what it used to, a little butt high. So we might have to use that JCR ACOS adjustable coil spacer, adjust her down a little bit, get her nosed up a little bit. But yeah, this is gonna be good. Let's get these things banged on there. All right, so we got the wheel busted off. We've got the shocks disconnected. Don't worry about this brake line. It's got some slack left in it. It's not pulled super tight. It just looks like it. I got it stopped just perfect. So I got both the coils here, old and the new. It looks like the Deaver, I don't know if you guys can see that. The Deaver is just a little bit shorter than the old Rubicon. So we'll see. We're gonna get this thing in there, and I'm gonna adjust the ACOS spacer down. I don't know. I think I'm at 3. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna have to remeasure, but I don't remember. We're gonna make an adjustment, maybe up to 1 inch. We'll give it a little bit of a lift out of it and see what that does for us. Just kind of level this thing out, since with the new shackles, it's sitting a little bit butt high. So we're gonna bust that down a little bit, drop in these new coils, get her back going. All right, so we're about just barely a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna keep that little keeper. Let's get the tape out. We're gonna take this thing down. We're gonna go to 3/4 of an inch. So right there, 3/4 of an inch. Get the set screw so I can get to it. We're gonna set it right there. All right, coil is in, looking good. Just needs to set up into that retainer, that little rubber bushing, but it's slowly creeping up. I can hear it squeaking its way up. Let's get the other side on. All right, so both coils are in. Got the shocks back in. I'm gonna bolt them up right now on the bases. Go through everything, make sure everything's tightened up. I ended up doing some planing and some fitting. Took it from 3/4 of an inch, added another quarter, so we're a full inch now here at the gapper. We'll throw the wheels and tires back on it, see how it looks. Go from there. Still got a little bit of a bow in her, but I think that'll all straighten out. I'm still not, I don't want to put my fingers in there, but I'm still not seated all the way up. So I think once we get this thing out, start flexing it, moving it around a little bit, it'll pop right back up there, take that bow out, we'll be good to go. Alright, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks again if you made it this far for tuning in and watching the full thing. Please, the best way to support is to subscribe. We're almost there. We're almost at our 1,000 subscriber mark. Then YouTube will start paying us and things are going to get really badass. Speaking of badass, next video, this upcoming Tuesday, so video probably won't be out until later in the next week. We are going on a hunt for a new project. XJ's sticking around, but we're doing something. It's going to be a 1-year build. 4 hammers next year. Big, bad, something you've never seen before out there. It's going to be epic. Stay tuned for that. It is coming. I can't wait. Tuesday, we're going to go get it. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. You're going to have to stick around and find out. Thank you again for watching. See you later.